Big D as their guys will do battle with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
And this one hauled in by Tavon Austin. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
47. 41's the whip.
A first down carry by Elliott. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
A second down throw for Prescott. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. After the penalty, it's Elliott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead. And this one through the uprights and good. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Wentz. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Wentz now on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. David Irving in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Jeffrey with a catch left side. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
To throw, it's Wentz. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And coming up on their 2nd drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, that it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
2nd down, Prescott. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And this is going to be incomplete. Ronald Darby that time, the one who got a hand in and knocked it free.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The Eagles offense back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. From the gun, it's Wentz. And that's complete to Jeffrey. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 10. Working from the gun, Wentz. And this one's incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Flushed out right. He may try and run for this. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Following the interception, here's Prescott. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
Here's Prescott. And his pass incomplete. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
On 3rd down, Elliott. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense, because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now, and I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football. The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
An Eagle first down there, Wentz to Ertz, and the names that end in TZ. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. An Eagle first down, Wentz to Ertz.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations. But a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
They go play action here on first down. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Coney Ely in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
2 sacks last week. Another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Throwing his Wentz. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Taco Charlton in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Here's Wentz to throw. Now he's flushed out right. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
.46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah. Looking for Hearns, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off at the 33. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? I mean, you're exactly right. It takes a fortitude to call.
Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. The 20. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott with touchdown number 15 on the year and 2nd of the game. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10.
Hey, 47. Hey, we're going 46, 46. Switch to the right. Slide in. Here we go, 46, 46, 46.
Prescott from the gun. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Finding room inside the 40, and a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Eluding the pressure right. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
And out now come the Cowboys. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
They start on the ground with Elliott. And some room to work. Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott in the final seconds of the first half. And the Cowboys will extend their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. The first throw for the backup Foles. Now bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He hit his first. This one from 38. That is inches from the upright. It's no good. Wide to the left, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number one. So we have come to halftime. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Here's Foles. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Again, it's Elliott. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Now the rookie from Alabama, it's Bo Scarborough. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They try again with Scarborough. Room here to run. And down inside the 15 he goes. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The give is to Elliott. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I don't know about you, partner, but I'm rubbing my eyes after that play. Did we just see that runner not get yardage? A big-time play by the defense. It does happen occasionally, even against the best running backs who are having big days.
Here you go. Here you go, 47. 46.
They go to Elliott again. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 14 yards. And the Cowboys add on. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that will extend this big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. This is Ajayi. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. Credit the tackle there to Jordan Lewis.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first two plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now Austin. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
that is
by the
one
time
positive.
we have to leave the booth.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Switch. Here we go, 46.
Prescott. Escaping the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the 1st, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a 1st down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
They'll pitch it out to Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Hustle.
On 2nd down, Elliott. He spins free and able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Here we go. Wide 80.
On play action, Prescott. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Play action is supposed to be used to slow down pressure, slow down blitzes. In this case, though, if it takes a little too long to develop, you got people right in your face.
And lucky just to get rid of the ball with the arm going forward. Could have been a fumble. So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Give them a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Now Foles. And he can't hang on. He had a good shot there for his 3rd pick of the game. Instead, it's 3rd down. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Foles. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
The Eagles send out their punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here's Austin. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now here come the Cowboys. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I we enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
A 20th carry here for Elliott. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
On 3rd down, it's Elliott, and he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. He needed 3, he got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Ajayi. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. They'll look to throw here. He's got his man. That's Wallace. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. This is caught at the 20. And he's gonna be marked down deep in Dallas territory. It's a big play there for the Eagles. 44 yards. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. His pass caught at the 4. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Now back to throw. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And Elliott puts this one through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
That's fielded in the end zone. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. A give to Elliott. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule